Hello, hello, hello. How are you, fabulous people, all five of you? um, I am feeling a little bit better today. I don't know if I bruised my rib or cracked my rib or something. I don't know. I've been in extreme pain for the past several weeks. Um, and it is on my rib, so I'm not even going to the doctor because there isn't anything they can do about it. Hey, Twisted Tea, how are you? What's going on? Um, so as I said the other day, Tony Soprano, a quick hello, long time no chat, Jesse. Well, I don't believe I've ever spoken to you, Tony Soprano. Um. Hello, Heather. How are you, sweetheart? Um, so as I was saying yesterday, there really isn't much anymore that anybody could do with the Nancy Guthrie case. Like I said, there are a couple new details. A new person being detained that was debunked. Um, DNA evidence, while the DNA itself wasn't new, was never new. It was new to us that there was also hair that was involved, not just blood. So that was a little bit of a newbie thing. Um, I was listening to Brian Enton today, and he had a former FBI agent on. Now he was saying some interesting things. He was talking about how profilers profile these people and whatnot. He was just an agent, not a profiler. I guess now he's a news consultant or whatnot. But he was saying, in regards to a lot of us having questions why they're not giving details and whatnot. Now, obviously, there's stuff that if they do know, they don't want the public to know. Something interesting that I found out, though, that I never knew is apparently if they put information out there that is used to help catch the person, like in specific cases, specific ways. Um, if they put stuff out there that only, like, just say only the FBI and only the perpetrator know. If they put stuff out there to catch the guy, apparently, depending on how it's used, they can't use it to prosecute the person either, which I had never heard of that before. So I don't know. I'm learning all sorts of new things listening to these people. Um, as far as other things in the news, Carmine Gotti was sentenced today. For those of you, I didn't get to see all of it, but Eric did a pretty good job from what I did see. Did a pretty good job of breaking down what the sentencing was about. So you might want to go check out that if you're curious as to that. And you did it very nicely, Eric. um, Now let's talk about David. I call him David, the D4VD guy. I don't know what the 4 represents. I really don't. Anyway, his real name is David Anthony Burke. So we'll just call him David for now. David. For those that comes from an old cartoon many, many moons ago. It's kind of an inside joke with my family whenever we hear the name David. I think a fancy way of spelling. I know, but usually, like, like you use a 3 for an E, right? Um, the 4, how the 4 represents an A, I don't know. You know, I guess he thinks it's fancy and cute and clever. So anyway, he was arraigned today. Of course, he pled not guilty. Um, and we're going to read a little bit into it because this is what interests me. Okay. All right. He pled not guilty. He was charged with 1 count of unaliving, 1 count of continuous essay of a child under the age of 14. Now, this interests me because she was 14. So how did they charge him with essay under the age of 14? I don't know how that works. Now, I do know 14 might be like a different level of punishment, I guess, if he's convicted. Like, I guess age levels like 14, 16, 18, whatever. But how do they get away with continuous essay of abuse of a child under the age of 14 when she was biologically already 14? I mean, technically, she's in her 15th year. And unlawful mutilation of human remains. The criminal complaint also includes special circumstance of allegations of unaliving of a witness. I guess they're claiming because they were investigating him for yeah. No, it's not. It's the number 4. It's the number 4. I guess they're claiming because he was under investigation for having relations with a 14-year-old, she being a witness. So they're claiming that he unalived a murder witness, or he unalived a witness of that. So he murdered a witness. Also murdered for financial gain. I don't know how much financial gain he would get from that. And lying in wait, as well as special allegation that Burke personally used a deadly and dangerous weapon, a sharp instrument to commit the crime. So they're charging him with it. I don't know if anybody else is going to be charged. I know, wasn't there another arrest allegedly? Now, what his defense is saying in this particular case, as the evidence will come out in court, the witness to the investigation was Celeste, and the investigation was okay. No, this isn't the defense yet. In this particular, this is the prosecutor. In this particular case, as the evidence will come out in court, the witness to the investigation was Celeste, and the investigation was into lewd and lascivious acts committed by Mr. Burke, Hochman said during morning news conference. Burke pleaded not guilty during an arraignment hearing at the Fultz Criminal Justice Center. Celeste's family reportedly attended the hearing. He's set to make his next court appearance April 23rd. So that's only in 3 days. So April 23rd will be on Thursday. So Thursday he will be back in court. The charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole or the death penalty, Hochman said. Prosecutors will decide at a later date whether to pursue capital punishment. Now, this is what the defense says. The actual evidence in the case will show that David Burke did not unalived Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and he was not the cause of her death, his attorneys at Burke Brettler LLP said. We will vigorously defend David's innocence. So, prosecution is pretty darn certain that he did it himself, and defense is pretty darn certain that he didn't do it. So, this is going to be. Hi, Scott. How are you, sweetheart? I was trying to see if they caught the person who called the. Take that word out of there, Heather. I don't like that word, that B word. Was there a threat? I did not know that. See, like I was at work today, so I watched as much as I could. But then I get busy because when I'm at work, they expect me to do stuff. So I did not know there was a threat made. And let's see what else. So they don't know if they're going to go for capital punishment yet or not. Um, let's see what else. What else here? All right. Celeste was just a child under 14 years old. She was under 14. All right. So I know this dates all the way back to the timeline for some reason dates back to September of 2024. They know she was still alive then. They know she was still alive in January of 2025. The last time anybody heard of her was April of 2025. So, and then her remains were found 5 months later in September of 2025. So, was she in fact under 14 when was she only 13 when he started messing with her? She was 13. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. So that's all right. That's all right. Um, it's not a threat from you, Heather, but that word I don't like that in my chat, the B word. I thought she turned 14 around the time she was found. I read that she was found right after her 15th birthday. So that's why I'm kind of confused. Let me look and see. Maybe I'm wrong. I very well could be wrong. All right, I can't seem to find when her birthday is. Um, okay, she last ran away in April of 2024 and then last contacted her family in May of 2024. So that would have made her 13. But I thought I had read that they found her body just after her 15th birthday. So that's what I'm not sure of. There were people saying that she met him when she was 11. I don't know about it though. Hello, Jane Creek. Dude. Dude. And guys, if you would like to donate, feel free. I do not have monetization anymore. So if you would like to contribute, all the information is down across the bottom of the screen. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, etc. There, I said that once. That's out of the way. So let me AI this. How old was Celeste Rebus? All right. Now, AI says, based on reports, Celeste Rebus was between 11 and 13 when she first connected with singer David Burke online, with some reports specifically stating 12 while he was 17. Okay, that's not making this any better. She later went missing in 2024 at age 13 or 14. Okay, so we don't have a definite as to her age. So she very well could have been under 14 when they met. Initial connection reports indicate they connected through gaming social media sites when she was very young, often reported as 11 or 12. Discord evidence, some reports citing Discord messages suggest they were in contact dating when she was 12 and he was 17. She was reported missing in 2024 at age 13/14. And her remains were found in September 2025. David was charged in April 2026. Blah, 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 blah. Let me see if there's more to this. Note the details of this case are part of an ongoing legal investigation as of April. All right, so she very well could have been under 14. Did I say hello to you, Michael Hensley? Hello, how are you? I don't know about you guys, but I don't think it makes it any better that he was 17 at one point. See, that takes me back to what we were discussing last night. Where were the parents? Yeah, you were saying that yesterday, Heather. But that takes me, if this relationship went on for a couple years before she went missing, that takes me back to where were the parents? You know, yesterday I was kind of, by the end of our conversation, I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe they didn't know. That was after she would have been unalived. What, that he was wearing her stuff? Well, you know, a couple people were in here going, well, what if he didn't do it? And maybe he just got scared and this, that. Listen, if you're scared enough to know that you're messing around with somebody underage and you're scared enough to know to unalive them, That's no excuse. You know right from wrong. 17 years old, 18, 19, 20, 21. You know right from wrong. Unless you're of a certain brain capacity, but this man was a singer. So he was working on a music career. So he didn't have lack of brain matter. Yeah, working brain. I'm trying to be polite here and not be a jerk. So I'm going to go back to where were the parents? Again, I'm not blaming them. It's not their fault. He did anything to her as far as unaliving her, but perhaps that someone was keeping a better eye on her. There are reports that some of the family knew where she was. I don't believe other than a cousin, if any family knew. Um, right. It doesn't matter though, Heather. Um, you mean knew about the relationship? I'm telling you, at 14 years old, if my mom found out I was running around with a 17, 18-year old, or at 12, 11, 12, 13, 14, running around with a 17-year-old, my butt would be whooped. Well, of course they didn't know where she was, or they wouldn't have reported her missing. They would have sent the police right over to where she was if they knew, right? I mean, that's a given. She was, in fact, reported missing, though. And if the timeline's correct, see, without her exact birth year, that's why I was questioning the whole under 14 thing. I have 3 daughters. There's no way that would have happened to my daughter. See, right? Scott, you know who your daughters are talking to online, right? I mean, I don't know if they're adults now or what, but you would at least be watching who they're talking to online, right? Listen, we all have children. Everybody our age, we all have children that grew up with kids that grew up online. Some of us are from single parent homes, um, whatever, um, blended families, whatever. You still pay attention to what your kids are doing. Born to 2010. All right, so in 2024, she could have been 13 before she went missing, or when she started dating him, because when's her birth month? I would think, okay, so she was found in September and they said she was found shortly after her birthday. So her birthday, so yeah, she probably did start seeing him when she was 13. Right, but Scott, you paid attention, right? Like you knew who they were talking to. Or at least, well, now don't get me wrong, kids are sneaky. And was it Twisted Tea yesterday said her parents knew nothing. Which is quite possible. Um, but not always typical. Not always typical. So yeah, if she was born in 2010, then she could have been 13 prior to her birth. Well, obviously prior to her birthday, but um when she went missing. It just depends on when in 2024 she went missing. Or, yeah. So you got to figure she went missing in the first time she ran away was April of 2024. Um, the second time she ran away was in May of 2024. So it was well over a year until they found her body. Um, she was alive, though. Allegedly, she was alive in January of 2025. I want to know if they will bring up any of the things he bought around the time of her unaliving. What do you mean things he bought? They weren't allowed to date until they were 16. Yeah, see, neither was I. I mean, but I'm older in times. I know Twisted Tea. I'm just picking on you, Twisted Tea. That's all. Um, what do you mean the things he bought? Like cars and jewelry and stuff like that? Um, Now, the prosecution is saying part of his motive was financial. What could he get from a 14-year-old financially? He bought a freezer, a burn box. Yeah, the burn box, yes, and a lot of cleaning products. Um, Perhaps. Now, this is the one thing about like the true crime genre. If my computer ever gets confiscated, a burn box. What is a burn box? Like what exactly is it? Combines high protein chicken bone broth with soluble fiber to support your body's natural detox cleanse, detoxify, and fast without. See, this looks like a burn box. Looks like something you use to diet with. It's a fasting kit. Wait, here's burn box incinerator. Oh yeah, okay. Burn box incinerators. Yeah. That's something you shove like leaves and stuff into. Paper, leaves. Yeah, but yeah, see, they called it a burn cage the other day. I think that's why I wasn't thinking clearly. Yeah. Yeah, they called it a burn box the other day. That's why I wasn't really probably financial as far as losing everything if she told. Um well, and they did it appears that the police were already investigating him for his little deviancy with the minors, because he's also charged with, you know, unaliving a witness. So, um, yeah, I don't know what he would do. I just did a quick little Google search on these incinerators and these little burn boxes. And is that perhaps why she was dismembered? He was going to like burn her piece by piece. Ugh, sorry, guys. Got to do something. Hang on.
Please be advised the following content contains themes and subject matter that may be unsettling, intense, or unsuitable for some viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
All right, we're back. Is that perhaps why he dismembered her? Perhaps he was thinking he was gonna like incinerate her piece by piece. But even with that said, these things don't look like they would get hot enough. Not at all. Very disturbing, guys. This is very, very disturbing. Um, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see if he gets convicted and what they'll sentence him with. Yeah, he could, but they were I don't know. Let me look at it again. They were talking about financial gain. Um, yeah, the criminal complaint also includes special circumstance allegations of unaliving of a witness, meaning she would have been a witness to whatever they were investigating prior, meaning him with her age wise, murder for financial gain, and lying in wait, as well as a special allegation that Burke personally used a deadly and dangerous weapon, a sharp instrument, to commit the crime. So I don't know if financial gain would mean protecting or protecting a loss or an actual financial gain. If they have the smoking gun, he will plea out. Well, here's the problem. More and more, and ever since the whole Casey Anthony thing, the further away you get in time from the crime itself to either arresting somebody, and especially in this case where her body wasn't found, like her body was found 5 months after she went missing, or no, her body was found a year after she went missing. But here's the thing, they had proof that she was alive up until about 5 months before she went, 5 or 6 months before she went missing. So, but in those 5 months, then she goes missing. Well, she was still technically missing prior to that, but from that point, that they have proof that she was alive until she goes missing in that 5 months. You know, it was brought up yesterday. What if somebody else did it and stuffed her in his car and ditched the car? It's possible. Likely, probably not. And even if it was somebody else, he was still under investigation. You know, finding a body in an abandoned car that's been towed away is 100% circumstantial. It's damning as hell that it's his car. But you got to be able to prove he put the body in there, right? So I don't think in this case there will be a smoking gun. Hello, Stroopit. How are you? How's your mom doing, Stroopit? Do you see where I'm going with this, Twisted Tea? Like, in the Casey Anthony case, yeah, Kaylee went missing. Kaylee's body was later found, but far removed from the actual crime, or from her. They have no way of telling that Casey's the one that actually put her in those woods, right? They think there could be more than one person involved because of the cut marks, meaning the pressure of the marks. Okay, so someone would have had to warning. Someone would have had to hold her down or hold the body down while they were cutting her. Is that what you're saying, Heather? They didn't arrest him for 7 months because he needed the evidence put together. Just watch the press conference. Correct. But Twisted Tea, what I'm saying is, I'm not even talking about his arrest. I'm talking about from the time she was last known to be alive until the time her body was found. I'm not even worried about the arrest. Like from the time her body found to the arrest, I'm talking about she was last known to be alive in April or May of 2025. And she wasn't found until September of 2025. I'm talking about that different. Oh, okay. Other different people, one stronger than another. Yeah, I'm not even talking about that span of time. I'm talking about the time from the time that the last proof of life that they had, because she was still missing prior to that. As far as her family goes, she was missing. She was reported missing, right? But they have proof of life back in April of 2025, I believe. And then she wasn't found until September of 2025. That's the span of time. Right. And that's the span of time I'm talking about. So you have to be able to prove in that span of time from April of 2025 until the time she's found in the trunk. That's circumstantial. Like you have to be able to prove he put her. Oh, no problem, Stroopit. You have to be able to put him. You have to place him putting her in that trunk. Am I correct, Twisted Tea? That's circumstantial. It's circumstantial that she was found in his trunk. Right, but that's why it took them 7 months gathering evidence. No, I hear you. I get okay. Yeah, and I understand that, and you're right on that. You're absolutely right on that because if they arrest him right away and they don't have the right kind of evidence, they're gonna blow it. Absolutely. You're absolutely correct. Um, but I'm wondering what that smoking gun would be then. Do they have video evidence or something? Like, although I don't know, she was missing from April to, or well, when I say missing, I mean from the time she was last known to be alive. Because obviously, like I said, she was missing prior to that, as far as her family goes. But if you take the time from her last known to be alive of April, we'll say it's April 2025 until September of 2025. Um, I don't know how much video camera footage they would have. I don't know about ring cameras and Nest cameras. I don't know, like, I know sometimes the cities put cameras on light poles and street light, uh, stoplights and stuff like that. I don't know how long they hold on to the footage. I know we work with where I work, we had DVRs and it will hold up to 30 days locally. Um, Meaning we can go back 30 days without having to store it as backup. Car data, cell phone data. Yeah, I guess they could ping his cell phone. Um, well, obviously the car is going to ping, and it was a Tesla. So, I'm assuming, would I be right in assuming, Twisted Tea, that a Tesla would be able to tell you it was sitting in one spot for so many days? Smartwatch, right. Right, but that could mean the phone and the watch were there. That doesn't mean he was there. You know what I mean? Like, a lawyer's going to talk their way out of that. Now, you and I both know if his smartwatch and his phone were there, he probably was there. But his lawyer's going to be like, well, just because his watch and his phone were there doesn't mean he was there. And even his car, you know. So is this the FBI? No, I'm not the FBI. But I'm just trying to think logically here. His defense is going to say, well, somebody could have stole his phone, his watch, and his car, threw her body in his car, and dumped all of it. And all of that's going to place him there, right? If the camera was working in the Tesla, they could at least see who drove it to the spot. Doesn't mean the person unalived her, just dumped the vehicle, correct? No, I don't. Heather, who maybe Heather knows. Was it local? I thought it was LAPD that arrested him. No. Um, I thought I read it was LAPD. From everything I've seen, Twisted Tea, it was LAPD. Although now that you bring it up, because she's a minor, I wonder why they wouldn't have brought the FBI in. Now, granted, it didn't allegedly go across state lines, but I would think with a minor, they would bring the FBI. Yeah, I didn't read anything about the FBI, Twisted Tea. Everything I saw was LAPD. But yeah, see, like I said, though, a good defense lawyer is going to say someone stole his watch and his car and his phone, dumped the body in the car, and dumped the car and everything else. Um, unless the watch and phone made it back with him, you know. But the defense seems confident that they're going to prove he's innocent. So I don't know. Of course, they always seem confident unless, you know, unless like it's caught on film. And then they're like, yeah, we'd like to play. Yeah. But I don't know, guys. I'm wondering if this is going to be one that, for those of you that were around, um, I followed the Koberger case right up until the week before they were supposed to start trial, and then he turned around and pled guilty. So, and will say a couple times listening to his attorney, I kept thinking he should probably get a new attorney. Oh, okay. See, I didn't hear the attorney. Like I said, I had it on at work, but I missed a good bit of it apparently since there was some sort of threat. So I didn't get to see all of it. I had to catch up on a lot of it on the way home and when I first got home here. But yeah, I would think so. Do Teslas come with cameras on the dashboard? I know a lot of the newer cars might, but I've also been hearing people have been um installing dash cams on their cars as well. Guys, just a reminder, I do believe, yes, from what I understand, they do. Okay. I do believe, guys, Angel's gonna be on tomorrow night and not Wednesday. I think her daughter switched days or something like that, or she's doing interviews and stuff like that. So just a reminder while I'm thinking of it, Angel's probably gonna be on tomorrow night. This is just so sad, this case, this story. But all right, guys. Well, 49 minutes in. Not a bad show. Jesse, so I don't forget, check out the Missy Beaver case of tech. Okay, let me write it down. Because if I don't write it down, I'll forget. There is a video of the suspect. Of what suspect? In the Celeste Rivas case. Actually, you know what, Heather? What was the name of the girl? Oh, in the Missy Beavers case. Okay. Well, that doesn't give me much hope for the Guthrie case because we have alleged video of some sort of actor outside of Nancy's house, and we can't find these people. Heather, I wanted to ask you, who was it? The guy that started Texas EquiSearch. What was his name? His daughter went missing or something, right? This is how bad my memory is. The suspect had on tactical gear. No, I guess I can look up Texas EquiSearch. His name, Tim Miller. Okay, that's what I thought. From what I understand, if I'm not mistaken, Texas EquiSearch offered to come up and look for Nancy Guthrie, and the local police wouldn't let him. So, but anyway, guys, thank you all for stopping by. I appreciate you all. They did. That is true. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I love you all. Try to be kind, and I will see you guys all in the next chat room. Bye, guys.